Good afternoon. My name is PC Tuku and I'm presenting to you today about forensic investigations as part of my Leicester Award Presentation. I shall look at the job description in detail, why I'm interested in forensic investigations, attributes needed to be a forensic investigator, my role as a residential advisor and how to enhance the skills, and finally I'll look at how I intend on achieving my goals and how we're going to achieve them. The role of a forensic investigator is to process scene of crime. This means taking pictures of the scene of crime, labeling and bagging evidence so it can be processed in the lab, as well as carrying on-site experiments for the presence of blood and bodily fluids. To do this, they require a degree in either principles of science, which is biology, chemistry, or forensic science, or a degree in criminal justice or criminal law. They also need experience in photography, as the job is centered around taking pictures of the scene of crime and the body. I've always been interested in forensic investigation because I believe that I possess some of the attributes needed to be a forensic investigator, such as high attention to detail and fascination figuring out why things work as they do. This is important because the job is tied around picking up evidence and putting the puzzle pieces together to be able to apprehend the perpetrator of crime. Also, my love for criminology and law have led me to take up a degree in this, which is one of the routes I could use to get into the forensic investigation role upon completion of my degree. A forensic investigator must be tactful and diplomatic because of liaising with fellow investigators on the scene of crime, as well as sometimes having to deal with family members who may come onto the scene of crime. They need to be accurate because their work revolves around handling lab equipment and lab samples. This means that the smallest misstep or any measurements that are out of sync could lead to the evidence being rendered inadmissible in a court of law, which means they will not be able to apprehend the perpetrator. A high attention to detail is also needed because a forensic investigator must pick up the smallest, most minute detail of any scene of crime to be able to identify the perpetrator as well as figure out how the crime took place. A strong work ethic is needed because most of the work is done in remote areas at strange hours of the night. If one is not motivated and does not have a strong work ethic, it might be difficult to carry out this task efficiently. Eloquence and communication is also key in this job because you need to be able to present your evidence and your findings in a court of law as an expert witness and to be able to write good oral reports that may be used in a court of law. My role as a residential advisor, which is my extracurricular activity that has led me to the Leicester Award, has really enhanced these skills, I believe, because in my job I have to be tactful and diplomatic. I have to be a good communicator, which means I have to give clear, concise messages to residents, as well as have a good, strong work ethic because of 24-hour calls, on-calls, and long shifts at a time. I believe the best example for this would be an incident I had in Halls when a resident had an accident that led to A&E being called into accommodation. When I responded to the call, I got there and the resident had passed out. That means they blacked out and they were not responsive. And I had to persevere and plead with his fellow flatmates to give me his room number and his details so I'm able to make a follow-up report so as to make sure the resident is settled back into accommodation. The residents were hostile and refused to cooperate. And this was at 5 o'clock in the morning. So you can imagine I was tired, I was stressed, and I had to still maintain a level head and still be polite. Finally, after about 45 minutes of trying to persuade the residents, they did give me his room number and his details, and I'm happy to say that this resident has integrated right back into accommodation and to university and is doing just fine. I think that this example is a clear example of what is required of me as a residential advisor on a daily basis, and also a good indication of what is required of me as a forensic investigator. Upon completion of my university education, I intend on getting work experience or apprenticeship under a forensic investigator so as to be able to gather the necessary work experience I require to get into the field of forensic investigation. This will hopefully be fulfilled through my Leicester Award and my fast track into criminal justice system scheme, which would help me get placement upon completion of my second year or my first year. Once I have achieved this and I have managed to secure myself a job, I shall know that I finally achieved what I'm looking for in life. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation.